Imagine you are standing on a balcony in a gleaming glass skyscraper in Dubai. You are watching the sunset over the Persian Gulf, sipping an expensive espresso. Below you, a young man in a tailored Italian suit steps out of a silver Ferrari. He is an Aghazadeh, a gentleman's son, the child of Iran's ruling elite. To him, the world is an open door. Now imagine a different scene. Only a few hundred miles away, in a cramped apartment in Tehran, a retired teacher is counting out crumpled banknotes. He's trying to buy a carton of eggs, but the price has doubled since last Tuesday. His life savings are evaporating into thin air. How do these two worlds exist at the same time? How can a country that is supposedly cut off from the global economy fund a billion-dollar military while its citizens struggle to buy bread? The answer is not found in a bank or a government ledger. It is found in the shadows. Welcome to the story of Iran's $200 billion ghost economy. To understand the shadow, we have to go back to 1979. Imagine the streets of Tehran filled with millions of people. They were not just fighting for religion. They were fighting for a dream of economic justice. The promise was simple. We will take the wealth from the corrupt Shah and his Western friends, and we will give it to the poor, the farmers, and the workers. But history has a cruel sense of irony. When the new government took over, they confiscated thousands of factories, banks, and massive plots of land. Instead of distributing this wealth to the people, they placed it into massive charitable foundations called Bonyads and into a secretive organization known as Setad. Think of Setad as a giant corporate black hole controlled directly by the supreme leader. Over 40 years, these organizations did not just manage assets, they became a parallel state. They do not pay taxes, they do not answer to parliament, and they do not appear on any official budget. The revolution that promised to end inequality ended up creating the ultimate monopoly. The people's wealth became a $200 billion war chest for the elite. Now, let us meet the man who bridges the gap between the Tehran elite and the skyscrapers of Dubai. In the world of high-stakes oil trading, there is a legendary figure known by the code name Hector. To his neighbors in Dubai, he looks like just another successful businessman, but an investigation by Bloomberg revealed a much deeper story. Hector is actually Hussein Shamkhani. In Iran, the name Shamkhani carries immense weight. His father, Ali Shamkhani, was an admiral, a defense minister, and a top advisor to the supreme leader. Hussein did not just inherit a name, he inherited a network. While Western sanctions were supposed to stop Iran from selling oil, Hussein and men like him were building a laundering playbook that would make a spy novelist jealous. He is not just selling oil, he's moving a nation's lifeblood through a labyrinth of shadows. Let us follow a single drop of oil to see how this works. The process feels more like a heist movie than international trade. It starts at Karg Island in Iran. A massive tanker docks and loads up with millions of barrels of crude oil. On paper, this ship should not be here. As soon as it leaves the dock and enters the Strait of Hormuz, the captain reaches for a switch. The ship's transponder goes dark. On global satellite maps, a multi-million-dollar vessel simply vanishes. It becomes a ghost ship. The ship sails into the middle of the Arabian Sea, where it meets another tanker that is not under sanctions. In the dead of night, they link together. This is called a ship-to-ship transfer. They pump the Iranian oil into the new ship, mix it with oil from another country, and forge the paperwork. By the time the ship reaches a port in China, the oil is no longer Iranian. It is labeled as Malaysian or Middle Eastern blend. The oil is sold, the network takes its cut, and billions of dollars begin moving. Not through banks, because banks ask too many questions. The money moves through crypto transactions and through an ancient system of trust called hawala. Billions of dollars in value are exchanged for Chinese steel, Russian weapons, or luxury goods for the elite, while the official banking system sees nothing. While this shadow system works perfectly for the people at the top, it creates a nightmare for the people on the street. In Tehran, there is a term people use with a mix of anger and envy, Aghazadeh. It means gentleman's son. These are the children of the regime who flaunt their wealth on social media, showing expensive watches, luxury cars, and poolside parties in villas that cost more than 1,000 teachers will earn in their lifetimes. They are insulated from sanctions. In fact, for them, sanctions are a blessing. When you control the shadow routes, you are the only one who can bring goods into the country, and you can charge whatever you want. For ordinary Iranians, the shadow economy is a trap. Because the government can't collect taxes from the $200 billion shadow world, it has a massive budget hole. To fill that hole, money is printed. When money is printed without a productive economy behind it, inflation explodes. Prices rise faster than salaries. People are forced to work multiple jobs, often in the informal sector, just to survive. They become part of the shadow economy not because they want to break the law, but because the formal economy has no place for them anymore. So, did sanctions work? The answer is complicated. Sanctions hurt the economy, but they did not starve the regime. Instead, they forced the system to become one of the most advanced shadow financial networks in the world. Sanctions acted like a filter. Transparent businesses disappeared, and only the most secretive and well-connected players survived. The shadow did not weaken the regime, it became the source of its power. Every time a ghost ship completes a transfer, every time a hidden payment is sent, and every time an Aghazadeh buys a new apartment in Dubai, the shadow grows larger. As we finish this story, look again at the two worlds we started with. The shadow economy is a masterpiece of engineering, a $200 billion ghost moving through the global financial system. But this ghost is fed by the struggle of ordinary people. The teacher in Tehran and the billionaire in Dubai live in the same country's story, but they exist in different realities. One lives a story of survival, the other lives inside a secret empire. The world often looks at Iran through the lens of missiles and nuclear talks, but to truly understand what is happening, you have to look into the shadows, because that is where the real power and the real tragedy exists.